The stars above Earth glowed quietly, but the people of Earth were restless. For many months, a fleet of alien ships had circled the planet. They were not ordinary visitors. They were soldiers, led by a figure known across the galaxy as the Alien General. His name was impossible for humans to pronounce, so they simply called him General Koresh. He was a towering figure with skin like metal and eyes that shone with cold light. To his people, he was undefeated. To the galaxy, he was a living legend. Now he had come to Earth, and his message was simple. Your world is weak. Your armies are small. Surrender and serve the Empire, or face destruction. The words echoed across every channel on Earth. Fear spread quickly, but so did determination. Humanity had always faced challenges, and each time, they had found ways to endure. Governments joined together. Scientists, soldiers, engineers, and ordinary citizens all wanted to protect their world. Yet deep inside, they all knew the truth. The alien empire was powerful, far stronger than Earth's combined defenses. Still, Earth refused to surrender. The alien general was amused by this defiance. To him, humans were stubborn creatures with fragile bodies. But he also saw something unusual. Unlike many other conquered species, humans did not simply bow down. They resisted, even knowing the odds. This puzzled him, and so instead of destroying Earth instantly, he made a challenge. "You will have one night," he announced. "One night to prepare for my trial. If you can stand against my army until sunrise, I will recognize your strength. If you fail, you will serve me." The world was stunned. One night. What could humanity possibly do in so little time? In a hidden base deep beneath the mountains, Earth's leaders gathered. Around them, screens showed alien warships hovering above the sky. Every person in the room felt the weight of the world pressing on their shoulders. "We cannot win by force," said General Harris, the leader of Earth's military. "Their weapons are far beyond ours." A scientist shook her head. Yet we cannot just surrender. If we give up, humanity loses its freedom forever." Voices rose, filled with fear and frustration. No one knew what to do. That was when a quiet voice spoke up from the back of the room. It belonged to a young strategist named Elias Ward. He was not a famous commander, not a decorated hero. He was a thinker, someone who studied patterns, games, and history. While the others argued, Elias had been watching, listening, and imagining. "What if we don't fight them head-on?" Elias asked softly. Everyone turned to him. "What do you mean?" General Harris demanded. Elias stepped forward. His eyes were calm, though his heart pounded. "The alien general expects us to fight with strength. He believes war is about power. But humans have always survived by using creativity, not just muscle. If we only use weapons, we lose, but if we use ideas, we might stand until sunrise." The room went silent. Some doubted him, others were curious. The clock was already ticking. Only one night remained. Finally, General Harris gave a slow nod. "Then tell us your plan, Elias. The world has no other choice." That night, while the alien ships floated above like dark clouds, Earth moved with quiet determination. Elias's plan was unusual, even risky. Instead of preparing guns and tanks, humans prepared the battlefield itself. Across cities and fields, lights were changed. Roads were blocked. Communications were altered. Satellites in orbit were reprogrammed to send strange signals. Old radio, towers long forgotten, were brought back to life. "It feels like chaos," one officer muttered as they followed Elias's orders. "It is not chaos," Elias replied. "It is confusion. We must make the enemy see what is not there and fail to see what is right in front of them." As the hours passed, humanity worked together like never before. Engineers laid false energy trails to mislead alien sensors. Farmers opened their barns to hide equipment. Children painted glowing symbols on rooftops, symbols that would confuse alien drones scanning from above. Even the oceans were not quiet. Fishermen released thousands of floating buoys, each sending signals into the sky. To alien scanners, it would look as if massive fleets were rising from the seas. By midnight, Earth was no longer the same. It was a planet wrapped in illusions, a place where shadows and signals danced together. High above in his command ship, General Koresh watched with interest. His eyes narrowed as his scanners filled with strange readings. Energy signatures appeared in places where none should exist. Entire armies seemed to form overnight. He leaned back in his chair. "So," he murmured, "the humans choose trickery." One of his officers growled. "Shall we strike them now, General? Their tricks cannot stop us." But Koresh raised a hand. "No, let them play. I want to see how far their courage will carry them. By sunrise their games will end." Yet deep inside he felt something unfamiliar. Was it curiosity? Few species dared to mislead him. Fewer still had the imagination to turn weakness into strategy. On Earth, Elias walked among the tired workers, offering quiet words of encouragement. The night was cold, but their spirits burned bright. Everywhere he looked, he saw people helping. Scientists beside soldiers, children beside elders. It was as if all of humanity had become one heart, beating together against the darkness. "Do you think this will really work?" one young soldier asked him. Elias smiled faintly. "I don't know. But I do know this. Humans never give up. Even if the sky falls, we always find a way to stand. That is what makes us human." The soldier nodded, holding on to those words like a shield. By the final hours of night, the preparations were complete. Earth was ready, not with stronger weapons, but with stronger spirit. Every city, every village, every ship at sea had become part of the plan. Elias stood on a high hill looking up at the alien fleet. The stars seemed smaller now, hidden behind those massive ships, but he did not feel small. He felt proud. "Tomorrow," he whispered, "the universe will see what it means to be human." As the last hour before dawn arrived, General Koresh gave his final command. "Prepare the trial. At sunrise, the humans shall be tested." His officers roared with confidence, certain that victory was near. But Koresh's eyes remained fixed on the blue planet below. "Strange creatures," he muttered. "They have no hope, yet they act as if they do. What drives them? What makes them resist?" He did not know it yet, but by the time the sun rose, his view of humanity would never be the same. The night deepened and silence spread across the world, but inside that silence, humanity was alive with purpose. Factories ran without pause, engineers typed commands into glowing screens, and soldiers moved like shadows through the streets. The Earth was no longer a quiet planet. It was a place preparing for its greatest test. Above, the alien fleet glimmered like a second sky. The alien army trusted their power. They had defeated countless civilizations. To them, this trial was not a real challenge. It was entertainment. Yet they did not know that humans were weaving a web of ideas, a trap not made of steel or fire but of confusion. Elias Ward, the young strategist, walked through the command center hidden inside a mountain. Around him, maps and digital screens glowed with signals. His eyes scanned every detail. He was not a soldier, not a fighter, but his mind was sharp, and tonight the world depended on it. "Status report," Elias asked softly. A communications officer replied. "All decoy signals are active. Satellites are sending false data. Ocean buoys are ready. Ground units have created new power trails." Elias nodded. "Good. Remember, our goal is not to destroy them. Our goal is to survive until sunrise." The web of illusions across the oceans, fishermen's buoys blinked and hummed. Each buoy sent radio signals into the sky, fooling alien scanners. To the fleet above, it looked as if hundreds of ships were rising from the seas. In the deserts, old oil pipelines were set on fire in carefully drawn lines. From orbit, the glowing shapes looked like marching armies of machines. In the cities, skyscrapers lit up with strange patterns of light. Children and volunteers painted rooftops with reflective paint, creating giant shapes visible to alien drones. Some looked like missile bases. Others resembled shields or strange weapons that Earth had never built. Everywhere humans worked with their hands, their minds, and their courage. No one slept, no one complained. This was their planet, and they would defend it. The alien general. Watches in his command ship, General Koresh leaned forward, staring at the reports. His scanners displayed armies where there should be none. He saw fleets on the oceans, machines in the deserts, and strange energy across cities. One officer slammed his clawed hand on the table. "It is impossible, General. Yesterday their world was weak. Today it looks like a fortress. They cannot build so much in one night." Koresh's cold eyes narrowed. "No, they cannot. Which means these are illusions." "Then we should strike them down," another officer growled. "Sweep away the shadows and the humans will see their weakness." But Koresh raised his hand. His voice was calm but sharp. "No, we will not rush. I want to see how far the humans can carry this deception. They dare to challenge me, so I will watch their game." Though he spoke with confidence, a small spark of respect flickered in his mind. Few species had ever tried such tricks. Most surrendered at the sight of his ships. But humans played with shadows and signals, forcing him to think. Elias's calm back on Earth, Elias stood with General Harris and other leaders. Reports came in every minute. "The alien fleet has not attacked yet," one soldier said. "They are scanning us, but no strikes." General Harris frowned. "They are waiting, testing us." Elias folded his arms. "Good. That means our plan is working. The more they wait, the more confused they become." General Harris looked at Elias with cautious respect. "You are young, Ward, but tonight you carry the weight of the planet." Elias shook his head. "Not me, all of us. Humanity wins only when we stand together." Those words spread quickly among the workers, soldiers, and volunteers. Every person felt part of something greater than themselves. Tricks of the midnight passed. In some places, humans created sound traps, massive speakers hidden in forests and valleys. They released booming noises that mimicked the movement of giant machines. Alien listening devices picked up the thunder, and their systems reported armored columns advancing through the woods. In the skies, drones painted with bright colors flew in circles, leaving trails of light. To alien eyes, they looked like swarms of fast-moving fighters. Even small villages joined in. Farmers drove tractors in patterns that looked like armored vehicles. Children used mirrors to reflect moonlight, confusing alien drones. Every hand, no matter how small, became part of the plan. Elias watched the reports and felt a strange pride. "This is what it means to be human," he whispered. "We do not give up. We turn weakness into strength." The general's doubt. On the alien flagship, Koresh studied the patterns again. His officers grew restless. "They are mocking us, General. Allow us to strike and end this." But Koresh did not answer immediately. He tapped his metallic fingers on the table. Something about this night bothered him. "They know they cannot win," he said at last. "Yet they resist. Why? Do they truly believe they have a chance?" An officer sneered. "It is arrogance." Koresh's eyes glowed brighter. "No, it is something else. Something I have not seen in a long time. Determination." He leaned back, his mind unsettled. Perhaps these humans are different. Tension before dawn. As the hours moved closer to dawn, the tension grew heavier. The humans were exhausted, their bodies aching, but their spirit did not break. Each false signal and trick became another thread in the web of survival. Elias stood outside for a moment, looking at the sky. The alien ship still hovered like dark mountains above the stars. He knew they could destroy Earth in an instant, yet something inside him whispered that they would not. Not yet. Beside him, a young soldier asked, "Do you think we will live to see the sunrise?" Elias gave a small smile. "I believe so, and if we do, the world will never be the same again." The last hours of night, by the final hours, the world itself seemed to hold its breath. Cities glowed with strange lights, oceans pulsed with signals, forests thundered with fake machines. From orbit, Earth looked alive with fire and movement. Inside the alien ship, General Koresh finally stood. His voice cut through the room like a blade. The humans have played well, he said. They are not strong, but they are clever. They do not fight with muscle, but with imagination. For this they have earned my respect. His officers stared at him in shock. Respect? For such a weak race? Koresh ignored them. His cold eyes turned to the planet. But the night is ending. At sunrise, their test will come. Then we will see if their spirit is strong enough to match their tricks. Elias returned to the command room as the first edge of dawn appeared on the horizon. The trial was not over. The hardest part was about to begin. He closed his eyes for a moment, steadying his breath. Hold, everyone, just a little longer. If we can survive the sunrise, we will show the galaxy what it means to be human. And above, in the alien fleet, General Koresh whispered to himself, "Strange creatures. I cannot rest after this night. They have made me wonder what strength truly means." The night of illusions was ending, but the true trial of humanity was only beginning. The first light of dawn touched the earth. A thin line of gold spread across the horizon, chasing away the long night. Birds rose from trees, and waves rolled across the seas. For a moment, it felt like an ordinary sunrise. But to humanity, this was the hour of judgment. High above, the alien fleet began to stir. The massive ships hummed with power, their shadows darkening the sky. Inside the flagship, General Koresh stood tall, his metallic skin glowing faintly in the light. Around him, his officers prepared for action. "It is time," one officer said with pride. "Let us crush their illusions." Koresh raised a hand. His eyes were fixed on the planet below. "Patience, the humans worked all night. Now we will see the fruit of their labor. Scan every city, scan every ocean. Show me what they have built." The officers obeyed, and their machines began to hum. Beams of light shot down to Earth, searching for armies, ships, and weapons. But what they found was something very different. The web revealed. The scanners reported fleets rising from the oceans. Thousands of signals pulsed across the seas, each one appearing like a warship. But when the alien drones flew closer, they found nothing but buoys, simple floating devices made by fishermen. They were small, fragile, and harmless. Yet they had tricked some of the most advanced machines in the galaxy. The deserts glowed with heat and light. Alien reports showed marching machines crossing the sand, but closer inspection revealed burning oil lines shaped into patterns. The humans had turned fire into an illusion of strength. In the cities, skyscrapers sparkled with strange symbols. Drones sent images to the flagship, but instead of weapons, they showed rooftops painted with mirrors and colors by children and volunteers. Everywhere the mighty scanners of the Empire met tricks. They found nothing real, but they could not deny the creativity. General Koresh's eyes narrowed as he studied the images. His officers grew angry. "They mock us with toys and fire," one shouted. "They waste our time with shadows," another growled. But Koresh did not share their anger. Instead, he felt something he had not felt in centuries: amusement. "Clever," he said softly. "Very clever. They turned their weakness into a shield. They made us see armies where there are none. They survived the night not with power, but with imagination." On the ground on Earth, Elias Ward stood in the command room, his heart pounding. Reports came in quickly. "The alien scanners are everywhere. They are testing our signals. They are trying to find the truth." General Harris turned to Elias. "How long can our tricks hold?" Elias took a deep breath. "Long. Enough, I hope. The key is not to defeat them, but to keep them guessing. If they are uncertain, they will hesitate. And every moment of hesitation brings us closer to sunrise." Through the window, Elias saw the first beams of sunlight strike the hills. His chest tightened. The trial was almost over, but not yet. The alien general speaks. General Koresh finally stood before his officers. His voice carried the weight of command. "The humans have played their hand. Their armies are illusions. Their fleets are toys, and yet they have achieved something rare. They forced us to think." One officer growled, "Then let us erase them now. Let the Empire see their weakness." But Koresh shook his head. "No, we cannot erase them so easily. To destroy them now would prove nothing. These humans are different. They do not bow. They resist. And in their resistance, they show strength greater than weapons. His officers looked at him in shock. Respect for such a fragile species? Unthinkable. But Koresh's mind was sharp. He saw what they could not. "Prepare the ground test," he commanded. "Let us see how humans stand face to face." The descent. The sky trembled as alien ships broke through the clouds. Massive crafts lowered toward the earth, their engines roaring. People ran to rooftops and fields, staring upward with fear and wonder. The trial was entering a new stage. Elias received the news in the command room. His face grew pale, but his voice remained steady. "So they are coming to test us directly. Very well. Then we must stand ready." General Harris clenched his fists. "We cannot fight their soldiers with ours. They are too strong." Elias nodded. "Then we must use something else. Our unity." The standoff in a wide plain outside. A city, the alien soldiers landed. They marched in rows, tall and shining, their armor glowing in the morning sun. At their head stood General Koresh himself, taller and stronger than them all. Across from them, humans gathered. Soldiers with rifles, engineers with tools, farmers with sticks, children with banners. They had little compared to the alien army, but they stood together in a line that stretched far across the plain. Koresh stepped forward. His deep voice carried across the field. "Humans of Earth, you stand before me with toys and tricks. Do you not see the truth? You cannot win." Elias stepped forward from the human line. His voice was quiet but strong. "Perhaps. But winning is not our only strength. We do not bow. We do not surrender. Even when we are weak, we stand. That is what it means to be human." The human crowd behind him shouted with one voice, their voices shaking the ground. It was not the sound of fear, but of courage. The general's Shakaresh stared at them, his cold eyes searching. He had faced armies that collapsed at the sight of him. He had faced rulers who begged for mercy. But these humans, fragile, small, armed with little more than courage, they did not kneel. For the first time in many years, Koresh felt something strike deep inside him. It was not anger. It was not victory. It was respect. He turned to his officers. "Look at them. They know they cannot defeat us, and yet they refuse to bend. That is why I cannot rest after this night. These humans are unlike any I have ever faced." The sun rises. The golden sun rose higher, painting the sky with light. The trial was ending. Humanity had survived the night. Their illusions had bought them time. Their courage had carried them forward, and their unity had kept them standing. Elias exhaled deeply, his heart racing. Around him, people cheered and wept. They had done it. Against all odds, they had lasted until sunrise. General Harris gripped Elias's shoulder. "You did it, son. You gave us a chance." Elias shook his head. "Not me. All of us. Humanity stood together." The unspoken decision on the alien flagship, Koresh returned to his seat. His officers waited for orders. Should they attack? Should they destroy Earth? But Koresh remained silent. His mind was troubled. For the first time in his long career, he wondered if conquest was the right answer. "These humans are dangerous," one officer warned. "Yes," Koresh replied slowly, "but not because of their weapons. They are dangerous because they believe, because they refuse to break. Perhaps that is the greatest strength of all." He looked once more at the blue planet below. "This test is not over. But I see now, the humans may have a place in the galaxy far greater than we imagined." The sun had risen high over Earth. Its golden light stretched across mountains, seas, and cities. The long night of illusions was over, and humanity had done the impossible. They had stood until morning. The alien ships still floated above like giants in the sky, but the world no longer looked at them with only fear. Now people looked at them with pride and hope. Inside the flagship of the alien empire, General Koresh sat in silence. His officers waited nervously for his command. They expected him to order the final strike, to erase Earth in one blast. Yet Koresh did not speak. His eyes were fixed on the blue planet below, and his mind was not calm. For centuries, he had fought wars and conquered worlds. Every time it was the same. The enemy either bowed before him or was crushed, but Earth was different. These humans were fragile, weak compared to his soldiers, and yet they had stood. They had refused to bow. They had filled the night with tricks and illusions, but also with courage. Strange, Koresh muttered to himself. They are not strong, but they are unbroken. A meeting of voices on Earth. The leaders of the world gathered once more in the hidden command center. The room was filled with both relief and fear. Relief that they had survived the night. Fear that the aliens might still choose to attack. General Harris spoke with a heavy voice. We lasted until sunrise. But will it matter? The alien general still holds the power to destroy us. Elias Ward, standing beside him, shook his head. It matters. We showed him something he has not seen before. Not strength, not weapons, but spirit. He cannot ignore it. Some of the leaders doubted him. You speak as if you know his mind, one said. Elias answered simply, I don't know his mind, but I know this. Every conqueror fears one thing, a people who cannot be broken. The general's reflection, Koresh finally rose from his seat. His tall figure glowed under the ship's lights, his shadow stretching long across the floor. He looked at his officers. All of you believe we should destroy them, he said. His deep voice silenced the room. But I see something else. These humans are not like the others we have conquered. They stand even when they should fall. They resist even when defeat is certain. One officer spat angrily. They tricked us with lies. They wasted our time with shadows. Koresh's eyes flared. Yes, and that is why they must be respected. They are weak, yet they made us doubt. They are fragile, yet they made us hesitate. Tell me, what other race has done this? The room fell silent. No one could answer. Koresh turned back to the window, gazing at Earth. His voice dropped lower. I cannot rest after this night. They have unsettled me. They have reminded me of something I had long forgotten. What is that, General? An officer asked cautiously. That war is not only about strength, it is about spirit. And in spirit, these humans may be stronger than us all. The first contact, instead of ordering an attack, Koresh gave a different command. Send a message. To the humans, he said. I will speak with them face to face. His officers were shocked. General, that is dangerous. You cannot trust them. Koresh's eyes were cold. Danger is the price of respect, and I must know more about these strange creatures. Moments later, a beam of light cut through the sky. A smaller alien craft descended slowly toward Earth. People all over the world watched as it landed on a plain outside the city where humans had gathered earlier. From the ship, General Koresh himself stepped out. His massive frame gleamed in the sunlight, his presence towering over the crowd. Soldiers raised their weapons nervously, but Elias Ward stepped forward, raising his hand. Hold your fire, Elias said. He has come to talk. The humans parted, and Elias walked to the front. He was only a man, young and ordinary in many ways, but he carried with him the pride of his entire species. Koresh looked down at him. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Koresh's deep voice rumbled. You are the one who led your people through the night. Elias nodded. I gave ideas, but it was all of us who stood together. Koresh studied him. His glowing eyes softened slightly, though his face remained stern. Why do you resist, human? You had no chance of victory. You had every reason to surrender. Yet you did not. Why? Elias answered calmly. Because freedom matters. Because dignity matters. We may be weak, but if we bow without trying, then we are nothing. We would rather stand and fail than kneel, and live as slaves. The human crowd behind him shouted in agreement. Their voices rose like thunder, filling the plain. Koresh felt something stir inside him. It was not anger. It was not triumph. It was admiration, a respectful silence. For a long while, Koresh said nothing. The plain was quiet except for the wind. Finally, he spoke. You humans are strange. In all my years, I have never met a race so stubborn, so unyielding. You have no strength, yet you act as if you are unbreakable. You have no great weapons, yet you fight with shadows and hope. You confuse me, and I respect you. Gasps rose among both humans and aliens. Respect from the alien general was unheard of. General Harris stepped forward, his voice steady but cautious. Then what will you do, General? Will you destroy us or will you leave us in peace? Koresh's eyes glowed as he answered. I have not decided, but I know this. You are not to be dismissed. You are not weak in the way others think. You are dangerous because you refuse to bow. Seeds of alliance in the days that followed, something new began. Instead of destroying Earth, Koresh ordered his fleet to hold back. He sent envoys to speak with human leaders. Talks began, slow, difficult, and filled with mistrust. But they were talks, not battles. The galaxy watched in surprise. The Empire had never paused before, yet now they hesitated because of humanity. Elias became a bridge between the two sides. Koresh often asked to speak with him directly. Their conversations were not easy. They argued about strength, about freedom, about the meaning of power. Yet with every word, a strange bond grew between them. Koresh began to see humans not as insects, but as equals. Elias began to see the general not only as a conqueror, but as a leader capable of honor. The general's change one night, inside his flagship, Koresh stood alone by the window. He looked down at Earth glowing with lights. His second-in-command approached. General, why do you hesitate? We could have destroyed them easily. Koresh's voice was quiet. Because destroying them would be easy, but forgetting them would be impossible. They have changed me. They have reminded me that true strength is not only in the hand, but in the heart. His officer did not understand, but Koresh no longer cared. The humans had awakened something in him, a memory of why he had once fought before endless conquest had dulled his soul. Humanity's pride on Earth, people began to walk with new confidence. They knew they had not defeated the alien empire, but they had earned something just as powerful: respect. They had shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. Elias told his people, "We did not win with weapons. We won with unity. Remember this day, for it proves what humanity truly is." The world listened, and hope spread like fire. A fragile peace by the end of that week, the alien fleet still hovered above. But they did not attack. Instead, they watched. Koresh himself remained thoughtful, his mind filled with questions he had never asked before. Would humans become allies? Would they become rivals? Or would they one day rise to challenge the empire itself? For now, he did not know, but he did know one thing. Earth had earned his respect, and that respect would change the galaxy forever. Koresh whispered to himself as he gazed at Earth once more. Humans, fragile, stubborn, unyielding. Perhaps you are the future I never expected. The unlikely respect between conqueror and the conquered had begun. What it would grow into, peace, alliance, or greater, conflict only time would reveal. The world was quiet now, but it was a quiet filled with anticipation. After surviving the night and gaining the respect of the alien General Koresh, humanity was standing at a crossroads. The alien fleet still floated above the planet, a constant reminder of the power that could crush them at any moment. Yet the fear that had gripped the world had been replaced by something new: hope. In the hidden command center beneath the mountains, leaders from all nations gathered. This time, the tension in the room was different. It was not only fear that filled the air, but also excitement. Humanity had proven something extraordinary. Not only had they survived, but they had stood tall against one of the galaxy's most feared conquerors. Elias Ward stood among them. His young face showed determination, but also pride. Around him, generals, scientists, and citizens worked together to prepare for the next step. This time it was not about fighting for survival. It was about building a future. General Harris approached Elias, his voice calm but firm. "The aliens respect us, Ward, but respect alone does not ensure peace. We must decide how to move forward." Elias nodded. "We must show them that humans are not only clever and courageous but also capable of cooperation. They came to challenge us. Now, we have the chance to turn this challenge into partnership. A meeting of minds." Meanwhile, in the alien flagship, Koresh studied reports from Earth. Unlike before, he did not see only illusions or threats. He saw humans working together, communicating, solving problems, and protecting each other. He turned to his officers. "These humans, they are not the weaklings we assumed. They are persistent, inventive, and loyal to one another. Perhaps our purpose should not be to conquer them, but to learn from them." One officer, still doubtful, spoke up. "General, we cannot trust them. They are unpredictable." Koresh's eyes glowed faintly. "Exactly. That is why we should not destroy them. They are unpredictable, yes, but that unpredictability is proof of their strength. In a galaxy of order, their spirit is rare and valuable." He made a decision that no one expected. "Send envoys, invite their leaders to meet. Let us speak face to face, not as conquerors and conquered, but as equals willing to understand one another." First contact a day later, on a neutral plain outside one of the largest cities, humans gathered to meet the alien envoys. Soldiers and civilians alike stood shoulder to shoulder, their faces filled with curiosity, caution, and pride. From the sky, a smaller alien craft descended. Its engines hummed softly as it touched the ground. A ramp extended, and from it stepped General Koresh himself. His towering form, gleaming armor, and deep voice made the humans pause. Yet, there was no threat in his stance. Elias stepped forward. "General Koresh," he said calmly, "we welcome you. Let us speak." Koresh nodded, his glowing eyes meeting Elias's steady gaze. "Humans," he said, "you have survived where others would have fallen. You have not bowed, you have not fled, and yet you have fought without weapons. You have shown courage, intelligence, and unity. Today I do not see a world to conquer. I see a people worth knowing." The crowd behind Elias cheered softly. This was not just diplomacy. It was acknowledgement of humanity's strength. Negotiations and understanding over the following hours, humans and aliens talked. Scientists discussed technology. Engineers exchanged ideas about energy and infrastructure. Soldiers and strategists shared lessons on tactics and defense, not for war, but for cooperation. Koresh observed closely. "Your strategies are fascinating," he told Elias. "Even without great weapons, you have found ways to challenge the strongest armies in the galaxy. This is intelligence and courage combined." Elias smiled. "We do what we must. But strength is not only in machines. It is in unity, creativity, and perseverance." Koresh's expression softened. "Perhaps this is the lesson I needed. Perhaps this is why I cannot destroy you. You remind me that true power is not always in dominance. It is in spirit." The end of the day, the first seeds of an alliance had been planted. It was fragile, cautious, and uncertain, but it was a start. Humans and aliens together over the following months, humans and aliens began small cooperative projects. Alien engineers helped repair damaged cities, while humans shared knowledge about energy systems and communication networks. Soldiers trained together, learning from each other. Humans discovered new ways to see the galaxy, while aliens learned patience and creativity from human problem-solving. Elias found himself speaking often with Koresh. The general, who had once been an enemy, was now a teacher and a student at the same time. They debated, laughed, and sometimes disagreed, but a mutual respect grew stronger with every meeting. Even ordinary people began to feel the change. Markets reopened, schools thrived, and communities worked to integrate the alien technology in ways that benefited Earth without threatening their freedom. Lessons learned. Koresh often reflected on the trial of the night. He had expected humans to be weak, but they had proved him wrong. Each act of courage, each clever trick, each person who refused to bow had left an impression on him. "This is why they are remarkable," Koresh said to Elias one day. "Not because of their weapons, but because they are humans. They persist, they adapt, they inspire." Elias nodded. "It is who we are. We survive not just to live, but to prove that even in the darkest moments, hope and unity can prevail." Koresh's deep eyes glowed softly. "Then perhaps the galaxy has much to learn from you." The future of the alliance. The alliance between humans and aliens remained fragile, but it grew stronger with every day. Joint projects expanded to research, exploration, and defense. Earth's people discovered new worlds, sometimes walking alongside alien explorers who had once been their enemies. Humanity's influence spread not through fear or force, but through intelligence, creativity, and spirit. The galaxy began to take notice. The story of the small planet that had survived an empire overnight became a lesson for many species. Courage and unity could stand against the strongest powers. Even Koresh, once feared across countless systems, now spoke of humans with admiration. "They have shown me what I had forgotten," he said. "Strength is not only in victory, but in perseverance. I will not forget it." A celebration of spirit and Earth. People celebrated not only survival, but the dawn of a new era. Flags flew alongside alien banners. Music and laughter filled streets that had once known fear. Children played among alien machines, curious and unafraid. Elias walked through the crowds, watching ordinary people living extraordinary lives. Farmers shared stories with alien engineers. Students learned from alien teachers. Soldiers trained together for protection, but also for understanding. General Harris approached him. "You led us through the darkest night, Elias. You gave humanity hope and direction." Elias shook his head. "We all did it together. That is what makes us human. One person can guide, but a whole world can achieve." A final word from the general high above in his flagship. Koresh looked down at Earth. His thoughts were quiet, reflective. "These humans," he whispered, "fragile, stubborn, and unyielding. They have earned their place among the stars. Perhaps they will change the galaxy in ways I cannot yet imagine." He smiled faintly, a rare expression for the great conqueror. "And I will be there to see it, not as a master, but as an observer, as one who respects what is truly strong." The alliance was born, not from fear, not from war, but from courage, intelligence, and heart. The galaxy would never forget the small blue planet that refused to bow, and the humans who proved that true strength comes from unity, spirit, and the will to stand tall against impossible odds. The legacy years later, the story of the night when humans faced the alien empire was told across the stars. Children learned of it in schools, both on Earth and on alien worlds. Leaders studied it in academies. Historians wrote of it in great volumes. The lesson was simple. Strength is not always measured in power or weapons. It is measured in courage, creativity, and the refusal to give up. Elias Ward, now older, often spoke of that night. "We did not defeat them with fire. We survived with hope. That is what makes humanity special. That is what makes us strong." And, somewhere in the depths of space, General Koresh nodded silently in agreement. The galaxy had witnessed something remarkable, a species small in size yet mighty in spirit.